I have two choices in video now.
Is that good?
Well, oh, there you go.
Yeah, this one's blurrier, but it's supposed to. It's right in the middle of my monitor, which makes me look right at the screen. It doesn't have autofocus. That's the problem.
Ah. I keep thinking I need to get a camera that lets me look at my large screens without, and make eye contact.
Well, this is supposed to be that video. It was a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But it's a piece of crap. Comes in
I'm
a
sorry?
cute box. And I have 4 of them because I apparently bought 2 double packs rather than a double pack because I thought they were single packs. Yeah, so I can't get it. I can't get it in focus. Which is not so bad if it's small screen, small video.
So it's blurry on purpose?
No, I just can't get it in focus. It won't stay. Like there's a lock on the focus. Part of the problem is that I can't reach the focus when I'm at my normal distance.
Ah.
So I guess either I have to get someone else do the focusing for me. Yeah. It's got a lock on the focus, a little wheel lock. That's not bad.
No, that's quite reasonable.
Yeah,
looks fine.
Yeah. But anyway, it's just a sad piece of shit. I otherwise have my, 2010 era webcam on a adjustable neck with a suction cup on the bottom, which at first I suction cupped to my desk, and then that didn't work, and then I suction cupped it to a piece of metal, like an award that I had received. I suction cupped it to this heavy metal award, and that worked for a while. And then that didn't work. It would still fall over. And now it has 2 large wood screws through the base into a piece of wood. But it's right between the 2 monitors, right over here. That would mean I would be looking off. Anyway, whatever. Spencer's on mute. Now I'm not on mute. Spencer, you're still on mute. You got a big red light on the side of your headphones. Maybe that means you're on mute.
Is this better?
Yep.
Yeah, I was on mute. I was on mute on my headset.
Yeah, that's
So
why I have a piece of Scotch tape on my headset, so I won't use it.
no, this is the little thing about halfway down my cord. But these are
Yeah.
so these are like gaming headsets. So they've got a cord that's like long enough to get up and go get a beer out of the refrigerator in your room or something, or I don't know what, but they're really long, and so it's really easy
You're
to
really
get.
faint still.
Oh, I am faint.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, we
Maybe
can
pushed
hear
on
you, but
something
it's
else
like you're on
also.
the other side of the room. It's like you've gotten up to get a beer.
See, you were listening. Let me. This is odd. Okay. Anyway, can you kind of hear me okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you well enough. I'm just saying it's faint. That's all I'm saying.
That's odd. Do you would it be helpful for me to bounce out and retest my audio, or do I have to disconnect to do that?
Well,
Trying to.
actually, I don't think Spencer's faint. I think you two sound pretty much the same volume to me. So
Weird. And I heard me say weird about a second and a half after I said weird. This is going to be an awesome time. But let's start our party together, shall we? So got the stuff for the headstock, got the stuff for the where the chat is. If we do that, got the stuff for Meet Echo, which everybody knows because we're on here. Got the stuff for virtual meeting stuff. Interim dates in 2023. And have the note well, which Michael, did you add this like within the last month or two under that where it says, please be kind to each other? Wait, now I think you're muted.
Yeah, the summary of the code of conduct is please be kind to each other. That's
Excellent.
The one sentence summary.
I like it. I don't know why this would ever be wrong. So have people had a chance to look at draft minutes from the last call?
yes, I think they're fine.
Cool. So we can accept these. Excellent. Perfect. And I think the only thing that changed, and it was the thing that needed to change the most in our list of documents, was Matroska went from, I think, -10 or 11 to -15. And that draft is now in IETF last call, and just doing the milestone review thing. So the next thing that happens for that is the Internet Engineering Steering Group gets all the IETF last call comments and all the directorate reviews, and then they read the documents and ballot on it for publication as a proposed standard. And the other one that needed to change, and the right things changed, the stuff I was the bottleneck on changed, but was FLAC 07, where I'd sent out a couple of emails with my notes from reading through the draft carefully. And
Yes,
I apologize.
many thanks for that.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Many thanks for that. They were very helpful.
I told my wife that you guys have got to be getting on the edge of telling the area director that, you know, it's not that you need a better co-chair, it's that you need an adequate co-chair. So I hope I've gotten to the adequate point again. And that is next on our list. And so we will chat here or on the mailing list or wherever we need to chat about the relatively few comments I made for FLAC. And then the next thing that happens there is that we send a revised ID off to our area director, who will do AD evaluation for it. And then we'll kind of be catching up with where Matroska is. We'll be kind of catching up with where Matroska is now as Matroska moves forward. Let's say that. Had a request to talk about the EBML lacing details being incorrect, and have people had a chance to look at that? I was projecting this, and if it's helpful for me to blow that up to a big screen, I can do that. But if people had a chance to look at this.
Yeah, Martin proposed the text that I didn't have the time to read yet, but if it's okay, I can just use that. Because basically the issue is that the text that we currently have in the document is incorrect. It says it's using a type of encoding just like EBML, when in fact I ran the code that we had for 20 years and it's definitely not the same results. So we have to find a way to describe in text what the code is doing, because that's pretty much the reference code. I didn't check in, for example, FMPEG, how they do it, but it's probably just pretty much the same code, because it's very odd code that I did a long time ago, and it was wrong looking at the results. But now that's what everybody has to use. So we have to describe it. So I will check what Martin proposed, and if it's matching the code, then we'll just go with that.
Yes, Steve, really, really cool test that you have provided. I like it. And I see one problem I have posed. You used fvint for the laced frame size. And assigned vint is not really defined in EBML.
Yes, because it's completely Matroska thing that's really just for lacing. And if you look at the code I've run, all the values, some are coded on 2 bits when the actual EBML signed value would be on 1 bit. So there's a lot of waste there. I don't remember how it ended up like that, because if we would just use the EBML signed values, we would have something efficient, but it's not the case.
Well, the problem is
too late.
The problem is that when you used the signed int, as the document currently says, you needed this to describe what the length of the value is somewhere else.
Yes.
But when you have a vint, the vint describes the length by itself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the problem here is that we have the vint is defined in the EBML document, but only for unsigned values. And if you take a signed value, the range halves. So the reason you get a 2-byte value for plus 64 is because you need 63 values positive and 63 negative values. So that's that matches with that 2-byte vint only starts at 128 because that's unsigned.
Is it obvious whether this is something we would fix in EBML or fix in Matroska?
We can't fix it because the code is, I mean, it's 20 years of code that it's pretty much everywhere now. Well, at least I suppose, because maybe people don't use EBML lacing, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but in EBML, other types of elements are defined, but not really used in EBML itself. And I think EBML should really provide this signed VINT in his specs, because others like Matroska derivates can use signed values, signed VINT values for something else.
We do have signed values that, if you look at the code I've run the code with the signed values of EBML and the code with the Matroska laced size encoding. And that's why you have, for each value, you have two types of encoding. The one from EBML, the signed official EBML signed code, which is actually efficient and correct. And the one from Matroska, which is completely bogus. It works, but it's not very nice.
Well, I don't agree. I don't agree with
really
that.
bogus.
I think the thing is that the signed int that you say is efficient is not, it does not describe its own length. But the signed the code that what is implemented for laces does describe its own length. So I do not agree that what we see is inefficient. There's no other way to do that. Otherwise, you have to describe the length of the signed integer somewhere else, and that is inefficient as well.
Well, it's supposed to be inside the value, and that's why I'm going to pick them. For example, I don't know, 86. Well, let's take a negative value. Minus 75. No, actually, it's more efficient. Okay, maybe there's some cases where the EBML Matroska lace is more efficient. Yeah, you're right. For negative values, it's more efficient. So yeah, there's pros and cons for each type of encoding. So yeah, I would look with a fresh head on the text that you provided, and if it's okay, I'll just merge that.
Steve, only for understanding for me, is the signed VINT code in Matroska EBML in the Matroska lib is bogus. Is not really good. It's not correct.
No, the code is correct, but the encoding efficiency is not very good, at least for positive values, but for negatives, it seems better. So all in all, because EBML lacing, usually you have actually small values, like between minus 20 and plus 20, so you don't, I mean, for those cases, it's just fine. For weird sizes of audio frames, you might have some inefficiency.
Okay.
But the code, I mean, the reading and writing, it's accurate.
It's accurate. Okay, cool. I have copied this more or less to my own project.
Yeah, I think everybody did the same because there's no clean logic explained anywhere.
Okay. And do you think it's a thing for EBML or not?
Well, we already have signed integers, so I don't see the point of having a different way of doing it, especially since we don't have have to. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think it's worth the effort. I mean, adding rational values would be more useful than having a second type of sign integer.
So do we need a clarification somewhere or not?
Yes, we do in the Matroska spec, and we'll hopefully merge the text from Martin. Otherwise, I will just make my own.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not really correct.
Okay, thank you.
So actually, there was also that discussion about the next step for Matroska, since we had the AD review, and I wanted to make sure we have time to put that fix in a new document before we send another one to I don't know who. We can't hear you, Spencer.
Some people like it better that way. So the next document goes off to the whole ISG, so the group of area directors for balloting. So that's where that's going next. Is there anything? So the other thing I wanted to be sure and mention. So this document is in IETF last call ending today. And the cool thing about that is that when I looked last night, when I was putting together the agenda at the last second, we had 3 review team assignments, and I have not seen last call reviews from any of them yet. So has anything popped in since the call started, basically? Or if that has not happened today, my expectation would be that that at least most, if not all, of those reviews would arrive sometime between now and maybe in 2 weeks, or whenever the document would be placed on the next ISG telechat agenda. So I would expect to get some more comments before too terribly long on that. So is there anything else we need to talk about on Matroska on the call today?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. And that brings us to FLAC, which now we have things to talk about. Now, and what do we need to say about the things that we might have to talk about?
Well, I wanted to thank you for the review. A lot of things. I especially liked the bird's eye overview because we have done a lot of small changes in the last few months and maybe lost the bird's eye perspective, I guess. So especially the reasoning that we shouldn't use BCP 14, am I saying that correctly? Terminology in the non-normative parts of the specification. That is something that we missed. So that should probably indeed be removed from the appendices or reworded, and perhaps also from the first few sections, because they have titles like they're more of an overview. The first few sections are more of an overview, and later the formal specification starts at, I think, section 7 or 8 or something. So the question I had with the review is, I think most points I will just use and change and put in some PR on GitHub. There are a few things I would like to discuss, a few comments which I think I can clarify. But what is the best way to communicate that? Should I put it on a mailing list, or what is the best way to comment on the comments?
I think the best way would be to put it on the mailing list.
Okay.
And thank you.
Thank you. It's very helpful.
I do read the stuff as it comes in off GitHub, but just to make, there's a lot more email out of our GitHubs than there is out of on our mailing list now. So I'm much more likely to spot it.
Okay.
Cool. So are there any topics that you wanted to talk about now, or is getting the stuff? I saw that you had put in at least one PR last night, and I was still sending in the last part of the review after you had started working on it. So I know you haven't had much chance to look at everything.
I was just I looked it over, and there were a few things that I think were minor and could be merged quickly. So I put them in a PR.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
I'll look it over a few times and think it over and find the ways. Think of the best way to incorporate them. So.
And don't forget that you guys are the experts. And if the chairs knew better than the working group, then they would have the chairs write the document.
I know, but that doesn't mean that I will incorporate everything just as specifically as said. But it does provide a nice, what's the proper name? It's a sounding board. It's always nice to have a fresh view, because when we did the working group last call, I sent a notification of the working group last call to quite a few people who used the FLAC document and enthusiasts and stuff. And I got a lot of comments similarly, and it's just great to have someone look at it from another angle and see where the most clarification is needed. So works great that way.
And I have to say, I was really pleased at how well written the document was. So, the appendices especially, because I think those are things that's easy to just kind of not spend very much time on. But they were, like I say, the whole thing was well written, but it was just good. Thank you.
Actually, I wrote a example appendix with specifically one of the reasons I wrote it was that people reviewing the document could get a cross-reference with the formal part. So cross-reference the informal with the formal part, like that.
I will definitely say that in the Shepherd write-up that I send to the ISG for them to look at during ISG evaluation. So yeah, thank you. Excellent. So we were going to talk about, and do we have time? Yeah, we've got plenty of time to talk about FFV1 V4 stuff. I did want to ask, and we could talk about this now or later, but we did have the FOSDEM FFV1 presentation that was scheduled for earlier this month. And I wondered if there was any feedback from there that would be good for the working group to know about.
No specific big feedback. There was a couple of questions about the comparison with JPEG XS and JPEG XL, especially JPEG XL because it is supposedly patentless. And I will write JPEG XL.
I heard architect, not JPEG.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
JPEG.
Yeah, I get it now.
XL. Especially because the developer of JPEG XL started with ideas from FFV1, so it is a bit linked between JPEG XL and FFV1, and we could take some ideas from JPEG XL for FFV1 before, like not compressing the last bits and so on. So yeah, there's still a discussion to have with the main developer of JPEG XL about what we could put in FFV1, the kind of some ideas. But yeah, there was a couple of questions about the performance and the comparison between JPEG XL and FFV1, and we need also to demonstrate with a couple of files what is the performance of JPEG XL and FFV1 and also AV1 lossless version. So yeah, the biggest questions were about comparison with other patentless or supposedly patentless formats.
Excellent. Cool. Is there anything else we needed to say about that presentation, or?
No, it was mainly about, I presented mainly about how we work also, that we try to create an ecosystem. So not only the format, but also the tools. So the people were there and tested. It was not so empty because our presentation got a room with less people. So people were curious about that, and it was fine, but nothing specific to say about that. So we never know what is the outcome of presentations.
Cool. So that would get us to our wish list for V4.
There is no changes about that. Because we have a list in the tracker and we need to just work on that. On my side, I still have some lack of time for that, but still planned. I just don't know when.
Sharon, do you have labels in mind that we could put in the GitHub so that you could indicate what priorities what priority issues were?
So you want me to do what?
I was asking if you had labels in mind.
We don't have labels, but I could add on GitHub. You mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. I will add them. There is a V4 flag on GitHub, but
okay.
There is a prefix, but not flags. But we can add flags like we do with Matroska.
Okay, and like I say, I'm getting more excited about using labels in GitHub, but I'm not sure I'm good at it yet. So you guys have been doing this. You guys have been doing GitHub a lot longer than I have. So, are there particular items on the list that people want to start with?
No, for the moment, the focus is on Flag and Matroska. So nothing else on FFV1.
Cool. So how can we help you?
Nothing. It is just for me the lack of time for focusing on that. So just personal life.
Oh, but people are entitled to have personal lives
So,
if they are editing. If you're editing a working group
Mm,
document.
But I don't know if people are interested in suggesting updates on the FFV1 specification. I am okay to review the PR, but if nobody creates the PR, it is difficult to review.
Oh yeah,
Just-
yeah.
Well, I can volunteer to send an email to the seller list that just summarizes and reminds everyone like what the version 4 issues are, and try to coax some discussion amongst the listserv that prioritizes them.
That would be excellent. Thank you, Dave.
Sure.
I just got off a call about 2 hours ago in another working group, and where we were discussing the idea that the best way to get feedback is to put out a idea that's wrong and let people tell you what's wrong with it. So
It's known as Cunningham's law.
yes, exactly. That guy. Is there anything that we need to talk about before when we're here together now, or I say I don't want this to seem like the rest of the working group is just supposed to be watching you type.
Nothing special for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
The next meeting can't be the 28th, can it?
4 weeks from today, it's 20.
I don't think we set that date because it's in the middle of IETF.
Oh, is
I
it?
think.
Really?
I don't think that's the next date.
I was looking at that and being slightly horrified. What did we
April 4th.
say? April 4th?
April 4th.
Oh, this is all coming back to me now. Yes. Right. So next date is April 4th. And yeah. This is coming back to me now. Sorry. I even typed that, didn't I? Cool. And if we look at the
no meeting in March.
Yeah, because we would overlap with the IETF meeting, and we're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
I
will try to come.
There's 2 in April.
Yeah.
June 4.
There's one at the beginning of
25.
the month, which is the March meeting, and one at the end of the month, which is the April meeting.
March observed.
Yeah, unless you want to cancel one, that we can do that. It's fine if there's no reason to have a meeting. But
well, if we've got it scheduled, it's easy to cancel. So that's better than needing a meeting and not having one scheduled. Cool. Okay. And Michael, one of us, and I'm not sure which one it will end up being. One of us probably does need to check real quick in the data tracker and make sure that the dates are right on those meetings.
I just looked.
Oh,
that's
okay,
where I got
cool.
the date. That's where I got the date from.
Excellent. Like I say, I put the stuff in. I turned the stuff into the area director and then completely forgot everything I typed. Excellent.
Okay, I have to go to a meeting. We have 10 or 12 centimeters of snow, and I have to be somewhere, and it's going to take me 20 minutes longer. So I'm going to say goodbye.
Excellent. Is it okay if I put the items under any other business on the agenda for next meeting?
Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll do that. Excellent. And then thank you guys for all that you do.
No problem.
You too.
Yes, thanks for shepherding.
Finally, when you have to go looking for the sheep because it's been so long since you've seen them.
So I meant more shepherding in general, not specifically documents.
Excellent. Have a wonderful day, all of you, and we will do the right thing.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye bye.